buzzer check and introductions. If you could give me your name and your state, please, starting here.
The buzzer malfunctioned.
That was a test, and you
Let the
passed.
buzzer cook.
Are all three game finals during this commission?
Let that buzzer cook. Don't. And then he's gone. Leo from New York.
Anika Bansal from Connecticut.
Everything from Indiana.
Oscar Murphy from Louisiana.
Welcome, players. You are aiming for 40 points. Good luck to every player. You made it very well. I'll start you off with toss-up number 1. This poet answers the titular question of one poem with purely as they turn from praise, and with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. This poet exclaimed, yes, call me by my pet name. Sonnet 3. Say again. Incorrect. Number 2.
Shakespeare.
Incorrect. Nation 2. That was the second incorrect buzz. This poet exclaimed, yes, call me by my pet name in Sonnet 33 of a work referencing Louis Camões, the author of the Lucifer.
Pablo Neruda.
Incorrect. That kills the question. That was Elizabeth Barrett Browning. All right, on to toss-up 2. This opera ends after a character who sings the duet C'est toi, c'est moi with the title yes. For 6. We'll move on to toss-up 3. An empire centered in this city after the Battle of Carchemish and 2 sieges of Jerusalem destroyed the first temple and took Jewish prisoners in a namesake captivity.
Babylon.
Babylon is correct. For 6. Toss-up 4. Oliver Heaviside often lends his name to the E layer of this region, which is known for certain reflective qualities that allow for the return of certain radio waves to lower altitudes. In the 1970s, the U.S. Air Force developed a model to study the effects of this layer on GPS technology, playing a key role in atmospheric electricity.
The ionosphere.
Ionosphere is correct. For 5. Toss-up number 5. The losing side in this battle was entrenched within the already sieged Petersburg and later retreated.
Pottermouth Courthouse.
Incorrect. Retreated to the west. Taking place near Mechanicsville, this was the final battle in a campaign also involving the Battle of the Wilderness. In his memoir, Ulysses S. Grant wrote that the final charge of this battle was the biggest regret of his life, part of the 1864 Overland Campaign, and considered the final major victory for the Confederacy. For the point, what is this Civil War battle? Buzz if you want it. Nope. I'm going to kill the question. That was the Battle of Cold Harbor. All right, after toss-up 5, let's have a score check.
Leo 0, Nisha 0, Anika 0, Evan, Karthika -2, and Bashkar 1.
All right, we'll move on to toss-up 6. Work on this piece continued for nearly 40 years at the Hotel Viran. Part of this sculpture depicts a man carrying a woman over his shoulder and is titled, I Am Beautiful. The 3 shades are part of this work and were originally intended to point to the phrase, abandon all hope.
Gates of Hell.
The Gates of Hell is correct for 5. Toss-up 7. The historical Margaret Garner inspired this novel, which ends after Mr. Bodwin is attacked with an ice pick while attempting to offer a job to Denver. Paul D. learns what happened at Bluestone Road when school teacher arrived from Setha is haunted by
Beloved.
Beloved is correct. For 5. Who's red 2?
Aniku.
Nico.
Toss-up number 8. These structures are referred to as saturated when their pressure head is equal to atmospheric pressure. When bound in by impermeable substances, these structures are referred to as bound and are less susceptible to pollution contamination. These structures can be depleted through aquifer is correct. For 5. Toss-up 9. In one myth, this figure causes the first man and woman to be flooded out of the third world after stealing the children of Water Buffalo. This character's evil nature is shown when he helps his wife, a changing bear, kill her brothers, and he disrupted the formation of constellations.
Coyote.
Coyote is correct. For 5.
Wait. We go out on 40, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Toss-up 10. This city was the site of the secret 1943 conference at which the Allies began to plan Operation Overlord.
Yalta.
Incorrect. This city's Chateau Frontenac is named for the leader of this city's defense in King William's War, and this city contains the first church in the Americas to be designated as a basilica. Richard Montgomery.
Montreal.
Incorrect. Montgomery and Benedict Arnold failed to capture this city in a December 1775 attack, taken by the British shortly after the 1759 Battle of the Plains of Abraham.
Quebec City.
Quebec City is correct.
Yeah.
For 5. And after toss-up 10, let's have a score check.
Leo 5, Naisha 0, Anika 10, Evan 8, Karthika 8, Bashkar -1.
All right, players, on to toss-up number 11. This man wrote of Americans, "There is no peace with them, but the peace of the king," in his short review of the Declaration. This man advocated for penal reform with his panopticon concept and aimed to create a code of law centered around his panomion. This man's philosophy was furthered by his student, John Stuart Mill, regarded as the founder of the greatest happiness principle.
David Hume.
Incorrect. Greatest happiness principle and the philosophy of utilitarianism. For the point, who was this English philosopher and social reformer?
More.
Incorrect. Buzz if you want. Time? His name was Jeremy Bentham. Let's try toss-up 12. These people were imprisoned in concentration camps run by Lord Kitchener.
Boas.
Yours is correct. For 6. Toss-up 13. This agency operates the world's only 2 Lockheed WP-3D Orion aircraft, and this agency's flag is emblazoned with a seabird. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross was accused of calling this agency's head, Neil Jacobs, to reverse his contradiction of Donald Trump. This agency was embroiled in the Sharpiegate scandal when President Trump claimed that Hurricane Dorian.
Noah.
Noah is correct. For 5. Toss-up 14. This man was given a flying fortress that he was promised by Walter Bedell Smith after capturing Suffolk. One politician allegedly described this man as in defeat, unbeatable, in victory, unbearable. This man was put in charge of the 1st and 9th Army of the U.S.
Patton.
Incorrect. Of the U.S. as part of his command of one shoulder of Allied troops during the Battle of the Bulge, commanding another country's 8th Army during the invasion of Sicily. For the point, who was this British general during the Second World War?
Vernon Montgomery?
Montgomery is correct.
We will conclude from the
Or let's see. On to toss-up 15. An object in this work is described as having the ability to both forge money and grind flour. A post-war effort to build new towns took place in a district of Espoo named Tapiola, the name of which was inspired by this epic. A zither-like instrument called the kantele is created in this work, in which multiple characters vie for the daughters of Lauhi. Ilmarinen and Wainamoinen appear in this work, which inspired the Swan of Tuonela by John Sibelius.
Kalevala.
Kalevala is correct.
Nice.
For 4. And after question 15, let's do a score check.
Leo 5, Unesa 0, Annika 12, Evan 12. Last question, she received 4 points for it.
Yes.
So she would have received 2 points.
I had that she was
9.
It was -1, I mean 9 to 15. She had a -1 instead of -2, because she answered after the end of the question.
Okay. Yeah. On 11.
That's okay.
She took out first. Annika 13, Evan 12, Karthika 8, Askar 5.
All right, on to toss-up 16. The oldest examples of these animals possessed holochroal eyes with hexagonally packed lenses with a single cornea. These animals evolved a volvation defense technique in which they rolled into a ball to protect themselves from anomalocarids. The Protida order of these animals.
Armadillos.
Incorrect. Of these animals was the only one to survive the late Devonian extinction before they died out in the Permian Trias.
Trilobites?
Trilobite is correct for 5.
Goodbye.
Toss-up 17. In ancient Greek, this word means cycle of little animals, and this coordinate system is comprised of equal parts occupying 30 degrees of longitude. This belt-shaped region stretches approximately 8 degrees above and below the ecliptic. The Chinese model of this system covers 12 years, while this
Zodiac?
zodiac is correct.
I had the buzz.
Oh,
Zodiac.
Zodiac is correct. I have that.
No, wait, she said it was correct.
oh wait,
Before.
yeah.
So I think
That question?
Yeah, that'd be an
out?
extra, I think. That's how
Throw it out.
you count.
Yeah, we'll throw it out.
Okay. Sorry. Guess that's a good strategy.
No, I mean, I'm fine with grammar.
Can I read the bigger question now? All right, I'm going to read the makeup question.
Is Bhaskar allowed to buzz on this question?
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
But by the way, that is 1 interrupt, okay?
So,
That's
Wait,
one
okay.
That's
interrupt.
1 interrupt.
So we only have 2 more.
Wait, but question. If I never buzz, how can I get it wrong?
yeah.
You
Oh,
never buzzed, it was a blur.
I had the buzz.
It was a blur. Okay, it was a blur.
So
then,
just
everyone-
what?
back to,
All right, here is the makeup question. One book by this author describes the prison experience of Walter F. Starbuck, a conspirator in the Watergate scandal. This writer of Jailbird also published a collection of short musings following near-death experiences given by Dr. Kevorkian. This author told the story of a chaplain's assistant liberated from the titular POW camp in a book that recounts the Allied firebombing of
Vonnegut?
Vonnegut is correct for 5. Toss-up 18. The first story in this work recounts the wicked Chiappaletto, who is wrongly accepted as virtuous after a friar foolishly believes his...
Decameron?
Decameron is correct
Nice guys.
for 6. Toss-up 19. This artist, who painted the bathers at Asnières, includes a depiction of a woman walking a pet monkey in white.
Seurat?
Seurat is correct for 6. All right, toss-up 20. The term for this technique was first used by Joseph Louis Gay-Lussac and comes from the French word describing the proportion of precious metals in coins. A common indicator used in this technique is phenolphthalein.
pH measurement?
Incorrect. A ring stand and a barrette are essential to perform this technique, which involves the addition of a reactant to a solution. Titration is correct for 5. After question 20, let's have a score check.
Leo 5, Unisa 0, Annika 19, Evan 15, Karthika 19, Beskar 8.
All right, toss-up 21. This man's neighbor, Tom Parsons, is jailed and sent to the work camps after his daughter reports him for unorthodox thoughts while sleep-talking. This man, who willingly consumes Victory Gin, I can accept Winston Smith, for 6. Toss-up 22. In one novel set in what is today this country, Olanna has a relationship with the British author Richard Churchill. In that novel from this modern country, Kainene disappears while running a refugee camp, and Ubu is forcibly conscripted into a rebel army. In another novel from this country, Ikemefuna, Nigeria is correct for 5. Toss-up 23. This man's work on the conduction of electricity and gases earned him the 1906 Nobel Prize in Physics. An experiment by this scientist involved 2 discrete light patches off a photographic plate, which indicated the existence of neon 20 and neon 22. This teacher of Ernest Rutherford and Niels Bohr proposed the plum pudding model.
Rutherford?
Incorrect.
They're both there. Thompson? J.J. Thompson?
I can accept J.J. Thompson. That is correct. For 5. Toss-up 24. This substance is possessed by members of the Mysticeti Parv order, and Barrow was a center of basket making using this substance developed by the Inupiat people. This keratin-based substance was incorrect. Was historically used to make back scratchers and names a grouping of mammals forming the Cetacea infraorder with its toothed counterparts. Used to
Baleen?
Baleen is correct for 5. Toss-up 25. This author wrote of the drowning of men on a ship overloaded with contraband in The Story of the Shipwrecked Sailor. The Vicario brothers attempt to gain revenge on Santiago Nasser in a work by this author, who set many works in the fictional town of Macondo? You need an answer? Nope, I'm calling time.
Yeah, we all gonna see him.
That is correct. For 5. After toss-up 25, let's have a score check.
Leo 5, Unisa 4, Annika 17, Evan 20, Karthika 22, Bhaskar 18.
All right, on to toss-up 26. The Canadian caper facilitated the end of this event. That is correct for 6. Toss-up 27. The Duc de Richelieu became governor of this city after fleeing the French Revolution and joining Catherine the Great's army. During a workers' uprising in this city, hundreds of civilians were killed on the large...
St. Petersburg?
Incorrect. Large stone staircase, which was later memorialized in a Sergei Eisenstein tomb. After killing 18 officers, the mutineers on the Russian battleship Potemkin set sail for this city. The chief Ukrainian port on the Black Sea for the point.
Stressful.
Incorrect.
Odessa.
Odessa is
Oh.
correct. For 4. Toss-up 28. This man gifted a series of screens depicting Azuchi Castle to Pope Gregory XIII. At the Battle of Meraki Castle, this man defeated the... Say again? Incorrect. Defeated the forces of the Imagawa clan, gaining the Owari province. This man lost the first siege of Nagashima, and after taking Kyoto, this man officially dissolved the Ashikaga shogunate.
Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Incorrect. Along with Toyotomi Hideyoshi,
Nobunaga.
that is... I'm sorry.
Oda Nobunaga.
Oda
Yeah.
Nobunaga is correct.
Wait, but I'm
You
sorry to
didn't
rule
finish
it.
that.
But
That
I'm
is a
sorry
ruling.
to
You did not
rule it.
finish
Yeah,
that.
no, that is a ruling though. That is a
No,
clear
I'm sorry,
indication.
that's
Okay.
Protest, I said Nobunaga, which is part of the name, you should prompt on that. And I did know the answer. I didn't say it.
Wait, what?
What?
No one could hear you.
Protest.
Did you hear her say
I couldn't hear it, no.
I think I
Protest.
I did.
I said Nobunaga, I think you should prompt on that. And I did say Oda Nobunaga at the end.
Because she didn't hear you say that, sweetie, and so that's her discretion.
Oh, me.
She didn't hear you say that.
No, I didn't hear her say it.
Oh, so that's.
I did hear her say
But
it.
you gave an indicating phrase.
Yeah, indicating.
Like no one's gonna
phrase
say
is
I'm sorry,
Okay.
but
Oh, wait,
you will
wait,
prompt
no.
works out.
I did say Oda Nobunaga.
Oh, no. Is this a protest on a prompt? No, you have to make it one. It's
Protest, you should prompt on Nobunaga.
okay. Protest on prompt about Nobunaga. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because with Japanese names, they really can prompt on one.
Where did she goes in? Sorry, I have a protest, please. After the shogun. Okay, this is Set Afraid, as you correct me. You're welcome. Number 28. The student buzzed in after Ashikaga shogunate. And what did you say?
I said Nobunaga.
She said no, 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 it does, but. It's just. You were the first one to buzz, right?
Third.
You were the second.
Third.
You were the third.
Oh, third. Yeah.
She was the third. There were two incorrect entries.
They gave it to you.
No, they gave the protest to you.
Yeah.
All right, so there's one more opportunity, and those two buzzed
Pretty sure it'd be the question. It's not a neg, but it's not a point for you. It's as if the question never happened between two of us.
Thank you so much.
Just,
Thank you. Okay, so who did buzz in incorrectly?
Karthika and Leo.
Karthika and Leo. Okay, so you two will be locked out of this question.
Okay.
Okay, there's only one more opportunity because it's as if there were two interrupts already. And she'll read the question.
All right, thank you. Extra question.
The buzzer's on.
In 1954, a council of 3 was set up to govern this country, though its members never visited it. In 1935, this country adopted the April Constitution, under which a government in exile functioned until 1990. This country, whose first republic was in fact a monarchy.
Poland?
I just want to make sure that someone who's allowed to answer, right?
Yes.
Poland?
Yes, Poland is correct
Thank you for checking.
for 6.
And what question is this basically standing in for? This is,
All right, toss up 29. One of these two bodies was the site of SN 1987A.
Do we need both?
One of these two bodies was the site of SN 1987A, the largest supernova in modern history. The Tarantula Nebula is hosted within these objects, which, before the discovery of the Canis Major and Sagittarius dwarf galaxies, were thought to be the closest galaxy.
Small and large Magellanic clouds.
That is correct. For 6.
Okay then. Can I have a score check before the final question?
It's right here. Yeah.
Sport, sure, we can do a sport check.
Leo 1, Nisa 10, Annika 21, Evan 24, Karthika 20, Bhaskar 24.
All right, toss up 30. In 1893, in an area which is part of this range, Alfred Pease photographed a now extinct Barbary lion. This range's highest peak, Toubkal, is part of the
Atlas Mountains.
Atlas Mountains is correct. For 6.
I knew the S was
Well
involved in
done,
this by like Atlas
players.
Mountains, by like.
Players
by
and
like
family
12
members,
years.
I've been told to send you to Arlington 3-4. Well done.
Good game to everyone.
You need to present the awards so I can officially end the live stream. Say who got which place.
The awards.
No, the awards are gonna be.
No, like, tell who got which place.
Oh, no, they need placing stated.
Guys,
If I could have quiet in the room, our finishes are, actually Marie asked for hers, if you want to give us the finishes.
Annika with 21, third place. Evan with 24, second place. Bhaskar with 30, champion.
Well done.
Thank you.